windy Friday afternoon here. I'm Ferris Bauer with the Javelina Broadcast Network, joined alongside with Colton Williams. Colton, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, Ferris.
Want to wish a happy Good Friday to everybody and a happy Easter as well.
Yeah, good. Nice little holiday weekend baseball here.
Yeah, we got the Texas A&M University Kingsville Javelinas taking on the Tarleton State
Texans.
Yeah, the Tarleton State Texans. And Colton, you actually saw the two doubleheaders that took place between these two teams yesterday. Tell me what you saw there.
Well, yesterday in Game 1, Dallas Ponder came back from struggling last Friday against Abilene Christian
Yeah,
and threw a complete game shutout. You know, definitely a good way to respond back from that rough start he had against Abilene Christian. Still the undefeated for the Javelinas. In the second game, Taylor Tasca all the way through 6 innings of one-hit run baseball. So, you know, Javelinas did a good job in responding yesterday. Tarleton State came in here yesterday 7-1 in the conference, and now they're 7-3, and A&M Kingsville moved up to 6-4 in the conference. So, you know, A&M Kingsville starting slowly to make that climb into the top of the conference, and we'll see what happens today in today's doubleheader.
yeah, and as we've seen all season, looks like the Javelinas have a lot of choices on the mound and a lot of different players to go with, and it looks like they got a lot of ammo in their artillery.
Yeah, today they're going to be sending out Zach Pettiford to the mound. He comes in with a 3-2 record and a 1.67 ERA, so it's a pretty good ERA for him. Like you said, the Javelinas do have a lot of arsenal in not only their starting rotation, but in their bullpen. So Tarleton State needs to come in here and you know, try to get some hits, but it's kind of hard with Pettiford on the mound.
Looks like they're just deciding. Coach is talking to the umpires right now.
I guess since we're going to do that, I guess we'll do the starting lineup. Starting lineup for your Tarleton State Texans. Batting first, number 14, center fielder Nico Moran. Batting second, number 6, left fielder Noah Ringenberger. Batting third, number 16, third baseman Alvaro Moreno. Batting fourth, number 34, first baseman Colton Booth. Batting fifth, number 8, second baseman Ryan Small. Batting sixth, number 11, right fielder Rustin Thomas. Batting seventh, number 24, designated hitter Foyla Lajide. Batting eighth, number 4, catcher Jared Musgrove. And batting ninth, number 1, shortstop Evan Robinson. And for the Tarleton State Texans, they'll be sending out right-handed pitcher Troy Oyasko. Comes in with a 3-run record and a 2.25 ERA. So, you know, definitely not a bad ERA to have as a starting pitcher, and his record for sure reflects that.
That's right. And for the Texas A&M Kingsville Javelinas, batting first will be number 4, second baseman Ben Villaforte. Batting second will be number 12, designated hitter Cash Barker. Batting third will be number 18, first baseman Taylor Tasca. Batting fourth, number 27, the right fielder Chris Ballou. Batting fifth will be number 5, the shortstop Matt Perez. Batting sixth will be number 19, the catcher Ryan Guedry. Batting seventh will be number 10, third baseman James Black. Batting eighth will be number 22, left fielder Julian Duran. And batting ninth will be number 24, the center fielder for the Javelinas, Trent Wagner. And as we said, the starting pitcher, they're going to decide on Zach Pettiford with a 1.67 ERA.
Yeah, you know, the Javelinas definitely have a starting lineup. It's only, you see you have Chris Ballou leading the way in this lineup right now with a 400 batting average, so he's definitely leading the way for the Javelinas in the batting area. So, you know, he had a good game yesterday, had a couple RBIs. And, you know, the Javelinas, it should be a pretty good series between two top teams in the LSC.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's getting ready to rise for the national anthem. So it looks like the player's just getting ready to take the field here. Tarleton State also with some heavy sluggers in their lineup as well. Leading the way for them is Alvaro Moreno, the third baseman. He's at a batting average of 422.
Yeah, and already halfway through the season, already with 36 RBIs. So the Havalas need to watch out for him when Zach Pettiford's pitching to him. Might need to watch what kind of pitches you throw to him. And he already has 9 stolen bases on the season, so 9 out of 13 stolen bases. So he's definitely an all-around threat for the Texans. As we said, the Tarleton State Texans coming here 18-10 and 1, 7-3 in conference play, and the A&M Kingsville coming here 22-8, 6-4 in conference play. Both teams have a chance to, shift their weight here in the LSC conference standings, depending on how this doubleheader plays out today.
Yeah, if the Javelinas can keep it up, they will jump ahead of Tarleton State. Of course, it depends on both results in this doubleheader.
Talking to Coach Gonzalez before the game, and he was saying that, yesterday it was like you always want to get the first 2 wins of the series, and he hopes that the momentum from yesterday will carry him in today. And it just goes to show about how strong each conference game is and what they can do for the standings. So he expects a good outing from his pitching like they did yesterday. And he, like you said, he has Zach Pettiford one of the ways leading for the Javelinas too. So he expects a good outing from both the bullpen and the starting pitchers today.
Yeah, it looks like they're confident. Looks like they're fired up there on the field, ready to get going. And the Javelinas are riding into this game, like you said, with confidence, since they did win the 2 games yesterday. Tarleton State is looking like a good opponent, but so far the Javelinas have bested them. We'll see if that can continue today. Javelinas, the home team here, so they will be taking the defensive end to start the game.
Zach Pettiford taking some of his warm-up pitches here. Just about underway here as Zach Pettiford takes the last of his warm-up pitches here. Leading the way off will be Nico Moran, center fielder for the Tarleton State Texans, coming in with a 404 batting average. So a pretty solid lineup for the Texans coming into today's game for them.
Yeah, the Texans certainly don't want to get swept in the series. We're looking to try to stop the momentum here.
You gotta, like you said, on the Javelina side of the ball, they're gonna try to carry momentum in from yesterday's 2 wins. On the other hand, you gotta say Tarleton State's kind of looking for redemption in their eyes today, trying to even up the series.
We'll be looking to even up the series. We'll see if they have the plate discipline to do it. As Moran steps up to the plate. And our first pitch is about to be underway. Good pitch there. Starts off the count with a strike. Puts the count at 0-1 for Moran.
just a little bit outside on that one. He's up the count at 1-1 here. It's almost to the same spot as that first one, but this one gets called a ball, so Moran up in the count, 2-1.
Looks like his pitch just curves to the outside right at the end.
Yeah, he's trying to do that tailing sinker there, but not getting the right little zip on it, or not finding the location on it. That's another ball here, so 3-1 in the count here. So Pettiford find themselves behind early on the first batter.
Yeah, Moran showing good patience right now on the plate. Gonna go with a classic fastball there. Gets the job done. Fills up the count at 3-2.
Yeah, usually when you have a 3-1 count, you're just gonna throw, just trying to go something into the strike zone there.
Moran has yet to swing. Finally does there. Splits it right down the middle. The Javelinas can't field it. It's going to go all the way out to the Javelinas center fielder, Trent Wagner.
Yeah, just between shortstop Matt Pettis and second baseman Den De La Fuerte there. Just not able to stop that one, so Moran will lead things off here for the Texans with a ground ball single up the middle. So good pace, good plate discipline, like you said, from Moran there. Only swung once, and the swung that he took was a hit, so good job there for the Texans to lead off the game.
They're starting off the way they had hoped. We'll see if Noah Ringenberger can advance it. Going for the sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, good job there by Ringenberger there, you know, just to do the sacrifice fly to put the runner in scoring position there. So with only one out here, Tarleton State already has a runner on second in scoring position here. So Zach Pettiford right off the back already has to worry about a base runner in scoring position here. Let's see how he handles this.
And it looks like all the Texans are worried about right now is just getting someone in scoring position, try to get something on the scoreboard early on, as it looks like they're going to want to try to take the lead early and keep it. See if they can advance Moran. As Alvaro Moreno on the plate now. Good hit into right field. And it's going to keep Moran settled at third.
So once again, Pettiford having a hard time here.
Yeah,
gives up first out of 3 batters, 2 hits. Not definitely a way you want to start off your day here if you're a starting pitcher. So thankfully good for the Tarleton State Texans. Runners on the corners, first and third. Still just one out here in the top of the first.
Pettiford starting out struggling just a little. Got to wonder if the wind plays a factor in it. Up to the plate right now for the Texans is Colton Booth. Called a strike by the umpire. Puts the count at 0-1.
Yeah, Colton Booth just trying to get his batting average over the 300 mark there, 299. A hit here would definitely do that and definitely bring in a couple of runs here, or at least 1 run for the Texans if he's able to come across with a hit.
Swing and a miss there by Booth. Finds himself behind in the count, 0-2 now. And if Pettiford can get a strikeout here, that might help his confidence a little. Throwing to first.
Yeah, Zach Pettiford trying to keep Booth there, trying to keep him honest there at first base. Good little snap throw.
Yeah, Moreno stays on the plate though. Some contact there. It goes far outside the field. Going to be called a foul ball. So Booth keeps himself alive with the count at 0-2.
So Pettiford up in the count here on Booth. No balls, 2 strikes. Still just 1 out here with runners on the corners.
Looks like Booth's going to call time.
And with with two strikes already on you, just gotta, the only thing you can do at the plate is you just gotta protect the plate. I mean, he doesn't know how the ump's gonna call this, so you gotta pretty much hit anything that's in the general vicinity, unless it's way off like that one.
Yeah, good eye there by Booth. Puts the count at 1-2. Pettiford dared him to swing. And another hit going outside the field.
Yeah.
Another foul ball keeps the count steady at 1-2.
Yeah, good job by Booth here just to keep himself alive here at the plate, fouling off some pretty hard pitches there, just trying to wait for the right one to hit. Zach Pettiford trying to do anything here just to get a strikeout or another out here for the Javelinas without giving up a run.
That pitch going far outside. Gonna even up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, see Zach Pettiford, I'm not sure his intention trying to throw balls here, but I think he's trying to get Booth to chase here. Booth so far doing a good job at the plate and not falling for the pitches outside.
And another pitch going outside the plate. Keeps the count at 3-2. Excuse me, fills up the count at 3-2. So Pettiford, like you said, Colton, didn't look like he was looking for the strike zone. We'll see if he resorts to it now. Certainly doesn't want to walk someone and get the bases loaded. The ball there.
Yeah, home plate up had appeal to the other ump and said that he did not swing through, so just like that, 2 hits and a walk, the bases are now loaded for the Texans still. Just one out here. Zach Pettiford, you gotta think now he's gonna be trying to throw balls low in the zone here, try to get that ground ball, trying to induce that double play to get out of the inning here, but the way Tarleton State's being patient to play right now, it's gonna be kind of hard to do for Pettiford.
Yeah, Tarleton State looking to make an impact early. Now, at one point it looked like they were only going to try to get a couple runs through when Ringenberger went for the sacrifice bunt. But now they got bases loaded. Still 2 outs to work with. On the plate now, Ryan Small, the second baseman for the Texans. Has a .320 batting average.
Yeah, definitely a really respectable average there for Ryan Small.
Yeah, we'll see if he can make his mark.
Trying to look for his 20th and possibly more RBIs of the season here. We'll see what happens. Just a little bit outside there, and the home plate upside he did not follow through on that, so count will be even up here. 1-1 to Small. Still bases loaded, 1 out here in the top of the first, so Pettiford has a lot of work to get out of this inning if he wants to try to get out of it without allowing a run.
Another pitch going right inside the strike zone.
Yeah, Zach Pettiford doing a good job of catching that outer part of the strike zone there. Goes down as a strike, so jumps ahead in the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Like we said, Pettiford just 1 ground ball away of getting out of this inning unscathed here, but we'll see what kind of pitches he throws here to Small.
Yeah, Javelina's already giving up 2 hits in this inning. And he did follow through on the swing. So Ryan Small had the opportunity to pick up an RBI and instead heads back to the dugout. Zach Pettiford picks up his first strikeout of the game.
Yeah, that's definitely a big out for the Javelinas, and I mean not the Javelinas, but Zach Pettiford in general. You know, now they're just a fly ball away or a ground ball away from getting out of the inning without allowing a run here. So what a big momentum boost that would be for Pettiford if he's able to get out of here without allowing a run.
We'll see what Rustin Thomas does with the pressure faced on him now at home plate, batting with an average of .282. Good fastball to start off the count.
Yeah, a little bit of a generous call there from the home plate up, but that might have been a little bit low, but home plate up calls that a strike, so Pettiford jumps up in the count here, 0-1.
See if Pettiford can calm his nerves a little bit, get him out of this inning. swung on that one. So Rustin Thomas finds himself behind in the count, 0-2. We'll see if Pettiford resorts to throwing those wild pitches just to try to get Thomas to swing. We'll see what kind of play discipline Thomas has. And Rustin Thomas swings on it. Looked like the pitch was a little far outside.
Yeah, but definitely a good job there by Pettiford, you know, loading the bases on 2 hits and a walk with just 1 out, and unable to get out of the inning without allowing a run. That's definitely got to do something for your momentum boost going off the mound there. So, you know, Javelina's catch up right there. Still a tie game at 0-0. See what the Javelinas can do at the plate here.
Yeah, Javelina's making sure not to give up any runs. Have given up 2 hits so far, but like you said, no real damage yet. Dodging a bullet there in the top of the first, like you said. As we head into the bottom of the first, leading off for the Javelinas will be Ben Villafuerte, second baseman for the Hogs.
Yeah, solid hitting respected right now, a solid 320 right now. Anything over 300 batting average in baseball is considered really good. So, you know, 320, a little bit above average there for Ben Villafuerte. He's doing a good job as one of the leadoff people for the Javelinas every game. So let's see what we can do here to lead off the game for the Javelinas. As Troy Yosko takes his warm-up pitches here.
Troy Yosko so far with 10 appearances and a record of 3-1.
You know, Tarleton State's definitely got to be kicking themselves after that first inning, because during the 2 games yesterday, they had a hard time getting anybody on base. And then like in this game, they start off leaving 3 people on base, so that's definitely come back and hurt them here.
Tarleton State had a good opportunity to take the lead early on, like they had hoped, but weren't able to convert on any of their hits. So the Javelinas going to come out and see how they can swing. They're certainly going to be hoping for a little better luck than the Texans had.
You see the Javelinas sporting their classic yellow uniforms here.
So Yosko starts off with a fastball, puts the count at 0-1. Another fastball, a little bit low and outside. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Yeah, good job by Ben Villafuerte not to swing at that close pitch there.
Villafuerte swings on that one.
It just turned into a routine fly ball there. For
Right fielder Rustin Thomas.
Yeah, so an easy out there for Yosko.
Except for the Javelinas number 12, Cash Barker.
Come up to the plate now for the Javelinas to be catcher, number 12, Cash Barker. Comes in hitting a very high 378. See if we can get something going here for the Javelinas, try to pick up their first hit of the game.
So Barker coming up. Good patience on the first pitch. Puts the count at 1-0.
Just catching inside part of the plate there, so count even up now at 1-1 here for Barker.
Barker swings at it And it does hit the ground.
Yeah, ball got helped out there a little bit by the wind. Looks like it got carried out there a little bit, and the wind just stopped and it died right there, right in front of the center fielder there. So go down as the first hit for the Javelinas. Cash Barker now sits at first base. Just one out here in the top of the first.
So
here comes the Javelinas lead RBI man, Taylor Tasca. As what the players call Mr. Everything. This guy pitches, hits. He can do pretty much anything you want him to do. So let's see what he does here.
Certainly one of the more versatile players in the Javelinas lineup. We'll see if he can advance Cash Barker. As Yasko just tried to keep Barker honest on first base. Tasca with a big swing. Looks like it's just going to be a fly ball. Fielded there with ease by the center fielder, Nico Moran.
Yeah, so 2 fly ball outs here for the Javelinas. Now here comes their lead man as far as batting average, Chris Ballou, sporting that 400 batting average. So pretty much hits anything that's close to him at the plate here. Let's see what he does here at his first at bat.
We'll be looking to keep the Javelinas alive here with a hit. We'll see if he can do so. 2/3 of the way through the inning. Yasko trying to end it early. Hoping he can catch Barker off of first base.
Cash Barker, 8 of 9 stolen base attempts. So not that many attempts, but when he decides to steal, he usually picks the right time.
And knows when to find the opportunity. Yasko seems kind of uncomfortable with Barker on first, throwing to the first baseman twice there. First pitch right over the plate, puts the count at 0-1.
Yeah, usually they say when a pitcher keeps throwing back to first base, he's afraid to face the batter at the plate. And trust me, if I was facing someone with a 400 batting average, I'd be kind of scared to face him too.
So far, Ballou swinging on that one, not being able to make contact.
Yeah, with 2 outs here and a 2-strike count here, Cash Barker will be off on any kind of contact here.
We'll see if Yasko picks up his first strikeout of the game. And again, throwing to first base to no avail. See what Chris Ballou decides to do on this pitch here. Making some contact, gonna be called a foul ball, so Chris Ballou keeping himself alive.
Yeah, Chris Ballou, a little bit of a check swing there. Ball just catching the latter part of the bat there just to roll it foul, so count still remains no balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. The runner's still on first base.
Yasko looked like he was trying to get Ballou to chase. Ballou did catch it on his bat though, right at the end. Ballou makes contact again, gonna be called a foul. So keeping himself alive with these few swings, but not finding the right pitch just yet.
Yeah, Chris Ballou known for fighting off a couple of foul balls, but usually known for also hitting one smack dab between any of the infielders here. So infielders still got to be on their toes here because Chris Ballou's a really good 2-strike hitter.
See how he faces this predicament here. Barker electing not even to slide to first base this time, understanding he's pretty close. And Ballou calling time.
See Chris Ballou trying to extend this inning here for the Javelinas.
And the steal looks like it won't work out.
Cash Barker got caught in a run down there, got picked off. Unable to get his way back to second, so Chris Ballou not even able to finish his at bat there.
Yeah, gonna have to wait till the bottom of the second to do so.
Yeah. So just like that, the Javelinas and the Texans get the Javelinas out of the end of the first inning, just giving up 1 hit, no errors, no runs, and a 0-0 ball game going into the top of the second inning here for the Tarleton State Texans.
Now the Texans came in at the top of the first inning determined to score, put runners on base, but couldn't bring them home. We'll see if they can use that anger, use the frustration from the first inning to have a better production on the second one.
Let's see what Zach Pettiford can do in his second inning of work here. Got out of the bases loaded, 1-out jam in the first inning without giving up a run.
Yeah, Pettiford dug himself into a hole in the first inning, but got himself out of it without giving up any runs. We'll see if he can do it again here. We do apologize for the wind. Lots of feedback on the mics.
Yeah, coming up to the plate to start the top of the second for the Texans, number 24, designated hitter Floya Lajide.
Lajide, the batting average of 281.
Yeah, very respectable average there. You know, a couple hits away from reaching that 200 batting average.
See how well he can hit against Pettiford. Pettiford starts off with a good fastball. Puts a count at 0-1. Another fastball there working for him.
Yeah, Lajide not able to check his swing there, but I think it would have been called a strike anyway, as that was pretty much smack down the middle of the strike zone there. So Pettiford ahead in the count here. No balls, 2 strikes.
Crowd saying Lajide swung, umpire not agreeing with him. Puts the count at 1-2. Lajide swings on that one, so Pettiford picks up his second strikeout here.
Yeah, definitely a way you want to start off the second inning of work there. After giving up 2 hits and a walk in your first inning of work here, definitely want to start off your second inning with a strikeout. And Lajide happily obliged to that one.
Looks like Pettiford finding the strike zone, at least so far this inning. Only a third of the way through, though.
Yeah, Zach Pettiford, one of those pitchers that, like most pitchers, gets better as the innings progress. So just be prepared for him to get his velocity to get stronger here as the game goes on.
Starts off with a strike, puts a count at 0-1. At the plate right now is catcher Jared Musgrove, batting average of 381. So definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you usually don't see too high a batting average from a catcher here, so.
Hitting it what looks like a fly ball. And it's gonna be a foul. James Black tried to get there in time, couldn't do so.
Yeah, Julian Durant tried to do a sliding catch on that one too, but the ball just able to evade his glove there. So it does go down as strike 2. Pettiford up in the count here on Musgrove, 0-2 here. With already 1 out here in the top of the second inning, the scoreless 0-0 ball game. Game 1 of a 2-game doubleheader scheduled for today.
First pitch going outside of the plate.
And once again, you see Pettiford trying to throw that little outside pitch there just to try to see if he would chase. But Musgrove knew better than that and did not chase, taking in ball 1.
Musgrove swings on that one right to Taylor Tasca. So a good infield fly for the Javelinas, picking up their second out. And Pettiford certainly keeping his composure a lot better this time around.
Yeah, 2 up, 2 down here to start the second inning. definitely the inning he wanted after following that first inning there. So like you said, Pettiford getting better as the game progresses here.
So rounding out the count for the Texans is shortstop Evan Robinson, batting average of .262. Pettiford might be on his way to a 1-2-3 inning. We'll see what happens here. Starts off with a ball, puts the count at 1-0.
Yeah, Evan Robinson comes in with a respectable average of .262.
Pitch finding the strike zone. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Like you said, Ferris earlier, Pettiford's trying to find the strike zone with some regularity now.
Certainly playing with more consistency, but right now finds himself putting Musgrove ahead in the count 2-1 after that last pitch. Evening it up there with that strike. Pettiford might be on his way to his third strikeout. We'll see what he can come up with here.
He's trying to lift something here, probably a little bit down in the zone here. And he does, finding the lower inside part of the strike zone there. Pettiford gets his third strikeout of the game. And just like that, a 1-2-3 inning for Pettiford. So 2 solid innings here for Pettiford. You know, struggled in the first inning there, but unable to get out without allowing a run. This one doesn't even allow a hit, so.
Yeah, Evan Robinson struck out there watching. But you must give credit to Pettiford. 1-2-3 inning for him, like you said, giving up no hits and picking up his second and third strikeout of the game. So the Javelina is playing defense the way they had hoped. But the offensive production in the last inning was a little waning for the Javelinas. We'll see if they can pick it up here.
Yeah, once again, we'll have Chris Ballou starting off this inning. Unable to finish his at-bat in the bottom of the first as Cash Barker was caught trying to steal. So once again, the Javelinas will start off with a pretty good solid hitter here in Chris Ballou.
And on deck after that will be the shortstop, Matt Pettis, who's almost at a 300 batting average.
Yeah, Matt Pettis had a solid outing in game 2 yesterday, went 3 for 4 with a home run. So definitely one of the stars in that second game of that doubleheader yesterday. So he'll be looking to try to continue his hot streak right now.
So the bottom of the second inning coming up here. Chris Ballou set to take the plate again.
Leading off for the Javelinas, number 27, Chris Ballou.
So Troy Yasko still on the mound. Pitch doesn't find the strike zone there. Puts the count at 1-0. Pitch just a little too high. Ballou finds himself ahead of the count 2-0 to start off this one. Ended the last inning at a count of 0-2. So a different situation for Ballou. We'll see if he can react differently to it. It's going to say that Ballou didn't finish the swing there. So Ballou now with a 3-0 count.
Yeah, definitely two different at-bats here for Chris Ballou. Swinging in the first one, falling down 0-2, and now he's up 3-0 in this at-bat. So definitely showing his patience at the plate here. Takes that one for strike one. So
yeah, Yasko finally finds the strike zone there. Puts the count at 3-1. So Ballou now can be patient with waiting for the right pitch. Swings on that one.
yeah, just got him to chase on that one. Usually with the 3-1 count, the coach doesn't usually give you the green light to swing there, but Chris Ballou thought he'd try to get a good pitch to hit there and chase that one out of the zone. So count now full for Yasko. 3 balls, 2 strikes here with no outs here in the bottom of the second.
Makes contact there, gets it to left field. But the third baseman there, Alvaro Moreno.
Yeah, good job there by Yasko, able to work his way back in the count there. Work his way from 3-0 to get the ground ball out there to third baseman. So Javelinas have a quick one out here in the bottom of the second.
So Matt Pettis coming up to the home plate. Gonna try to get the Javelina's second hit here if he can.
Yeah, trying to see if he can home run in this game too. And with the wind blowing into the outfield though, so it's a good shot. Get that ball high enough in the air, might be able to carry it out. So Matt Pettis is known to actually, he has the strength to take one out of the yard.
Yasko starts with a pitch outside the strike zone, puts the count out 1-0.
And Matt Pettis, is what Coach Zaw said, is probably his most patient player at the plate here. Always goes ahead in the most counts here. Waits for that perfect pitch.
Pettis with a good eye. That one gonna find the strike zone, puts the count at 2-1.
Yeah, just catching the outside part of the strike zone there. But Pettis still up in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike here.
Pettis swings there. Able to get it right over the hands of Moreno, the third baseman for the Texans.
Yeah, so Matt Pettis taking exactly where he left off yesterday. Like you said, going 3 for 4 yesterday and starting off today with a hit. Definitely probably one of the hottest Javelina hitters right now in the lineup.
Able to pick up the Javelina's second hit so far in the game. We'll see if number 19, Ryan Guedry, the catcher for the Javelinas, can advance them. Javelinas still with 2 outs to work with. We'll see.
Ryan Guedry yesterday in the game, had a sacrifice fly, scoring Pettis from third.
We'll see if he takes another sacrifice here. The pitch starts the count off with 1-0. And a fly ball there, hitting the ground.
Yeah, not good communication out there in the outfield by the Texans. No one called that one, and it dropped right in front of both the center fielder and the left fielder there. So just like that, Javelinas have back-to-back hits here, both from Pettis and Guedry here.
And you're right. It looks like the wind may be delaying the ball's projection.
Next up to bat for the Javelinas, number 10, James Black.
So James Black has a runner on first and a runner on second, and is batting at an average of 282. So we'll see if he can maybe pick up an RBI here.
Yeah, Black, if you guys remember, Black during the Abilene Christian game in the series finale actually had that walk-off single to take that last game away from Abilene Christian. So let's see what he does here with runners on second and first.
Yasko having a little trouble on that first pitch, but no, Javelinas chose to try to steal a base. Starts the count off at 1-0. Yasko now keeping his eye on second base. That's Chris Ballou. He's taking residence there for now. Swing there by Black, going to be called a foul ball. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Yeah, good hack there by Black, but just a little bit too late on that, fouling that off. Down the first base line, out of play there, so redo that one, 1-1.
Chris Ballou only 2 and 3 on stolen attempts, so it doesn't look like he steals very often. Yasko goes for a pitch. Ballou will steal to third this time, and Pettis will round up to second base.
It's not Pettis on
Or it's, excuse me, Ryan Guedry on second base.
and Matt Pettis on third. So wild pitch there, able to advance the runners second and third now. So a good RBI opportunity here for James Black. Still just one out here in the bottom of the second. Javelinas have a good chance here to pick up their first run of the game.
Yeah, count's still at 2-1. That pitch puts it to 3-1. Black finds himself ahead of the count, and no need to try to chase a swing here. Count is at 3-1. We'll see what Yasko can do. Black swings, misses.
So once again, we see in this inning alone, Javelina's pitchers going up in the count 3-1, swinging on the 3-1 count. So, you know, not really a smart move on their part, but I guess maybe they're trying to see something that they thought they could hit. But that's not the count here for James Black, as he evens up the count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners on second and third.
And Yasko will choose to walk Black, as Black did not swing on that last pitch, showing good patience. So instead of sending Yasko with a strikeout, finds himself with, or instead of, sending Black back to the dugout with a strikeout, Yasko finds himself with the bases loaded here.
Yeah.
And the Javelinas with only 1 out.
Yeah, same position, different spots here. Both teams reverse roles here. Like in the first inning, Tarleton had bases loaded, 1 out. Now it's the Javelina's turn, bases loaded, 1 out here. Let's see if they can get some runs here.
Julian Duran right now on home plate for the Javelinas, batting at an average of 279.
Yeah, you see Yasko having a hard time early in the game trying to find the strike zone here.
Yeah.
Falls behind the count at 1-0.
Didn't have too many problems in the first inning, but looks like he's struggling a little bit more in this one.
Yeah, Duran helping him out on that one. That one probably would have been called for ball, but Duran swings through, and that evens up the count. 1-1 here, bases loaded, 1 out here in the bottom of the second in the scoreless 0-0 game here, but Javelina's looking to change that here.
See if they can. Yasko goes for a pitch far outside the plate, trying to dare Duran to swing. Duran stays patient on it, though. Finds himself ahead of the count, 2-1.
Look at the first baseman here. Colton Booth has a few words here for the pitcher. Probably saw something that he thought the pitcher should know, so let's see what happens here with this 2-1 count.
Swings on that one in the infield. Doesn't make it to a double play.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fielder's choice RBI hit for Julian Duran there. Is the Javelinas, even though they get that out at second, do bring in Matt Pettis from third, so the Javelinas just like that. A 1-0 lead here in the second inning. Still just 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning here. And you still have a good chance for another RBI here as Ryan Guidry sits on third base.
And Duran picks up his 6th RBI of the game.
Trent Wagner, you see, struggling a little bit this season, kind of taking out of the starting role here. But yesterday had a big hit yesterday, bringing an RBI. Let's see if he can follow that up with a...
So Yasko trying to throw out Duran on first. Duran stays there. See what Wagner can come up with. Like you said, struggling season. But if there's any time to turn it around, Wagner certainly hopes it's now.
Yeah, usually it takes a couple of bats to get your momentum back with you, but...
Wagner swings there, gonna be ruled a foul ball. Starts the count off at 0-1.
Yeah, Wagner definitely, you know, last year had a good solid outing last year. Struggled a little bit to start off this season. Like I said, a couple more hits, maybe fortunes changed for him, and a big opportunity would be right here to bring this RBI in from third.
Duran once again kept honest, staying on first. So Yasko giving up 2 hits so far in this inning and giving up a run. They are 2/3 of the way through.
So it will be a stolen base for Duran.
It looks like the Texans had an opportunity to tag him out, but instead threw to third.
Yeah, so that makes Julian Duran a perfect 10 for 10 on stolen bases for the season. So Javelina is catching a break there. So now we have runners on second and third. Still 2 outs here. Javelina is ready 1-1 in the inning. 1-0 lead over the Texans here. Let's see what Trent Wagner can do with the 0-2 count.
Gets struck out. So just like that, the Javelina's momentum dies there.
Yeah, Trent Wagner still not able to find any kind of momentum there. Strikes out with 2 runners on, but nonetheless, the Javelinas do bring in a run in the inning, take a 1-0 lead going into the top of the 3rd. Had a chance for more, but Yasko did a good job in working around that bases loaded 1-out situation.
Yeah, Javelina's able to get the ball rolling here at least, taking a 1-0 lead so far on 3 hits. No errors for either team. Texans with 2 hits so far. Top of the 3rd is just about to start here. Pettiford taking the mound once again for the Javelinas. And he struggled in the 1st inning, but really found his stride in the 2nd one. Quite the opposite of Yasko's performance so far.
Yeah, Yasko had a solid 1-2-3. Well, I pretty much had a 1-3 inning with Cash Parker getting caught trying to steal. So, you know, 2 tails here. Pettiford getting stronger as the game progresses, and you look like Yasko's still struggling trying to find that strike zone there. Gives up a run on a couple of hits there in the 2nd inning.
We'll see if the Javelinas can protect their lead in the top of the 3rd inning, as the Texans will be restarting their count with center fielder Nico Moran. Batting average up .404. So the Javelinas certainly have a big job ahead of them if they want to defend their lead.
Yeah, Nico Moran did a good job in starting off the game for the Texans with a hit right up the middle. So let's see what he does here with his 2nd at bat.
Leading off for the Texans, number 14, Nico Moran.
Pettiford starts off with a fastball, puts the count at 0-1. Going right outside of the strike zone there. Evens up the count at 1-1.
And Moran once again showing his patience. The plate has yet to swing at a ball.
Yeah, it only swung once his last time at bat, but like you said, it was a hit.
Swings on that one, but catches nothing but air as he watches the count go to 1-2.
Yeah, Pettiford with a good pitch there. Moran's bat going right over the ball. Puts the count at 1-2. And a tough curveball there. Far to the outside. Evens up the count at 2-2.
It looks like that could have been called either way, but I'm playing that saw it as a ball, so count goes full to Moran here. 3 balls, 2 strikes in the top of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, umpire not buying it. So Moran faces a full count here. We'll see how he can kick off the 3rd inning for the Texans. Keeps himself alive with that swing. Moran swings on that one. And, I almost caught the ball. Didn't work out for me there, though.
Yeah, Cash Barker just ran out of real estate on that one. Ball just fouled off behind home plate there. So the count still stays here at full 3-2. And Ferris, you almost had a little souvenir there.
Yeah, I just forgot my catch was made at home. So full count here still for Pettiford with Moran on home plate for the Texans. Moran swings on that one, gonna be ruled a foul though. So both the pitcher and the batter have to find themselves patient. It's patient in situations like these.
Yeah, Moran doing a good job in fouling off some tough pitches there. Waiting for that right pitch to swing on, and he's having a pretty good eye for the ball today, so. His patience pays off there as he takes that one, ball 4. So he's on for the second time today via base on balls there. So Pettiford has to deal with Moran on the base pads once again. As Noah Ryan Ringenberger will come up for his second at bat here. Like he said, he had that sacrifice bunt laid down in the first inning here. Let's see what kind of approach he takes here in the third.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna go for it again. Decides to surprise everybody with a swing. Javelinas cannot field it at all. Lots of problems. Ben Villafuerte could not slide on the ball in time, and Moran's gonna swing home and gets home, ties up the game.
Yeah, just a couple of off-key moves there for Javelinas nonchalantly brought the ball back into play there, and just like that, Moran moved all the way around the score on what was a bunt single that caught Ben Villafuerte off guard there. So a very uncharacteristic run scored there by the Texans, but
yeah,
if it works, it works.
Ringenberger looked like he was about to bunt there, ended up swinging right in the last second.
Yeah, off Pettiford's glove, rolling just past Villafuerte there. Ringenberger already had a good jump off first, able to make it to third on the hit, and the ball nonchalantly brought back into play there a little bit. And Cash Barker or Ryan Guidry not covering the base there as Moran's able to come all the way around.
An unorthodox style of play, but the Texans will take it.
Yeah, game now tied 1-1 here. Still no outs here in the top of the third.
Gonna count as an error for the Javelinas. At the plate there was Moreno, hitting it right down right field. And now the Texans look like they're coming into form a little bit as Ringenberger comes home.
Yeah, definitely shift of momentum here as what looked like an easy out, or what should have been easy out for Ringenberger, turns into a bunt single there. An error brings in the first run, and now a solid hit into right field brings in the second run here. So just like that, Tarleton State jumps out to a 2-1 lead here in the top of the third. Still no outs and a runner on third. And looks like a couple of words here with Pettiford on the mound. Is the pitching coach for the Javelinas.
Yeah, Pettiford struggling a little bit so far.
So you definitely got to see that change in momentum here. Swing to Tarleton State side with the 2 runs here in the top of the third. Pettiford still having still trying to find the first out here of the inning. Already 2 runs across.
So on the plate now for the Texans is first baseman Colton Booth. Pettiford starts off with a pitch that goes just a little too low. Starts the count off at 1-0. Pettiford may be struggling a little bit now.
Yeah, Pettiford, you see, keeping his balls low in the zone there, trying to induce that ground ball, trying to get a double play to get 2 outs here. But that one just a little bit too low. It goes for ball 1.
Pitch going outside the field, going to be called a foul. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Pettiford, I mean, like you said, most pitchers know as a main thing you got to have as a pitcher, you got to have a short-term memory. You got to forget about those 2 runs that have already scored and just focus on the batter at the plate right now. Try to pick up the first out here of the top of the third. That
Pitch
one
sinking into the strike zone.
Yeah, a little bit delayed call there by the home plate up. Had a little thing about it for a split second, but goes in the favor of Pettiford there. He's ahead in this count. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Snap throw back to third, but save back is Moreno.
Butterfield tries to swing to Tasca again, or tries to throw to Tasca again, but Moreno stays on base. Swung on that one, gonna be called a foul ball by the umpire.
Yeah, that could have spelled more danger for the Javelinas there, as that was just a couple inches away from being a fair ball. But count stays at 1-2 here for Pettiford on Booth here, trying to pick up the first out, trying to induce that ground ball to get the double play. That would really help out Pettiford here in this inning.
And a swing there, right in the center of the field. None of the Javelinas are there. And the Texans bring Moreno home on that double.
Yeah,
So Colton Booth picking up an RBI and a double there for himself.
yeah, 3 back-to-back hits here for the Javelinas, brings in 3 runs. So things going from bad to worse here for the Javelinas, who came into the inning with that 1-0 run, but thanks to 3 hits in the inning, the Texans now jump out to that 3-1 lead here. Pettiford yet to record an out here in the 3rd, so still no one warming up in the Javelina bullpen, so this is Pettiford's mess to get out of here. Let's see how long Coach Gonzalez decides to stay with Pettiford here.
First pitch going too high. Gonna put the count at 1-0. Up to the plate right now is Ryan Small.
Coach Gonzalez usually likes to let his own pitchers get out of their own messes here, and he's definitely going to do that here with Pettiford. It's like I said, no outs here in the top of the 3rd, already 3 runs across.
Good pitch there, finding the strike zone, evens up the count at 1-1. So the Texans now with 5 hits in the game, able to score 3 runs off of them. Their heavy hitters are coming through.
Yeah, top of the lineup proving to be paying dividends here for the Tarleton State Texans. 3 hits, 3 runs in this inning alone here, so Pettiford needs to really shake off the little rust he has in this inning and just get some outs.
That foul ball there puts the count out 1-2.
Yeah, you know, all these foul balls are starting to get to Pettiford here as his pitch count keeps climbing here.
And Pettiford struggling so far in this inning, but picking up his 4th strikeout there.
So once again, for the 2nd time in the game, Small goes down swinging. So that's his 2nd strikeout of the game. So I guess for once, you're not killing these Smalls. That's what the Javelinas are thinking right now.
Could be. What's killing them is Pettiford so far. We'll see if he can get his way out of it. First pitch outside the plate. Puts the count out 1-0.
Pettiford just trying to get some outs here. Able to get one on that strikeout of Small. Trying to get the 2nd one here. To Rustin Thomas.
Rustin Thomas tries to bunt. Perhaps.
But not able to go the way of Pettiford would like it to go. Falls behind the count here. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out here, already 3 runs across here for the Texans in the top of the 3rd as the Javelinas trail 3-1.
And the Javelinas picking up a 2nd error there. Yeah,
A little off-key throw there by catcher Guidry there almost could have spelled danger for the Javelinas as James Black is able to recover on that pretty fast. Keep the runner there at third. So it looks like this is going to go down as a stolen base. No error for the Javelinas there. But just makes things worse now as he has a runner on third. So a sacrifice fly would score a run here. And Thomas will just take that strike. So the count now 3 balls, 1 strike here. The runner on third for the Texans here in the top of the third.
Texans in still a very comfortable situation. A hit right there. Rolled a foul. Javelinas with a sigh of relief.
Yeah, just going over the reach of Taylor Tasca's head there at first, but just dropped a few inches in foul territory there. So like you said, Javelinas showing a sign of relief there.
And Pettiford walks his 3rd player of the game.
Thomas takes his stroll on down to first base, so still just 1 out to here.
Now batting for the Texans,
But with the walk, though,
24.
puts the double play back in play here. So
Lajai.
Lajai will be looking to come up with his first hit of the game. Big opportunity here for the Texans. Another big opportunity for Zach Pettiford trying to get out of the inning without allowing any more runs here.
Bunt here. Tasca gets it, throws it to home plate, and the Javelinas avoid giving up another run there.
Yeah, good heads-up play there by Tasca as he let the runner get to first and decided to go for the out at home plate and gets it. So 2 outs here for the Javelinas and Pettiford, and now just runners on second and first here. So a ground ball will get you out. Any kind of out will get you out.
Javelinas certainly hoping they can end this inning as quick as possible. So at the plate now for the Texans is Jared Musgrove, the catcher.
And the fans not liking that call as it looks like Matt Pettis might have put the tag down, but up there at second says that he was able to get back in time. So count stays at 1-0 or 0-0 count here.
So a ball there puts the count at 1-0. Musgrove swings, misses, and the Javelinas again cannot throw to third base.
So just like that, another off-key throw by Guidry to third baseman Black, not able to corral that one. Rolls down the foul line into left field there, and the Tarleton State Texans pick up a run on another Javelina error there. So 2 errors in the inning here.
Rustin Thomas.
Bring across 2 runs here for the Texans.
Rustin Thomas picked up that run for his team. So Javelinas now trail 4-1. Pettiford still has Musgrove to deal with, so Javelinas with 2 outs now. Got to try to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, it goes ahead in the count here with that strike, 1 and 2 here. So just 1 strike away from get out of the inning, but an inning that he would like to forget as 4 runs have already crossed.
Javelinas picked up an error on that last play. So that would be their second one of the game. Texans still with 0. And the Javelinas can't field it as it goes too deep into right field.
So Musgrove will come across big as he's looking for the triple, and he will get it. So an RBI triple there for Musgrove. Brings in the 5th run of the inning for the Texans there. So still 2 outs here in the inning now.
So full of a jive. Able to round back the bases. Picking up the 5th run for the Texans, and Pettiford having lots of trouble. So Javelina is trailing big in this inning, 5-1.
Zach Pettiford able to find the strike zone on that one. Falls behind 1-0 here. Still just 2 outs here in the top of the third, an inning where the Texans have come across for 5 runs here to take a 5-1 lead here in the game. Able to find that one there for a strike, so count even up here at 1-1 here for Evan Robinson.
Umpire rules that pitch as a ball and decided that Evans didn't follow through on the swing. Puts the count at 2-1.
Takes that as strike 2, so count even up here at 2-2 here for the second batter in a row. Pettiford 1 strike away from getting out of the inning here. Let's see if he can come across here as the Javelinas now have 2 pitchers warming up in the bullpen. And just like that, Pettiford finally gets the 3rd out here in the 3rd inning, but a big inning there for the Texans nonetheless. 5 runs on 6 hits and 2 Javelina errors, so Javelinas have some work to cut out for them to do now if they try to come back from this 5-1 deficit now.
Javelina certainly do have a heavy burden on their shoulders now. Pettiford picked up his 4th strikeout on that last play. Excuse me, his 5th strikeout. But it is after giving up 5 runs in the top of the 3rd, so the Javelina is going to look to put that behind them. Going to try to do better this time around. Troy Orozco still on the mound for the Texans. Gave up a run in the last inning. We'll see if the Javelinas can respond with any sort of anger.
Going into the bottom of the 3rd inning here, Javelinas have some work cut out from. And let's see what happens as Cash Barker will come up for his 2nd at bat just in a few seconds.
So Ben Villaforte going to come to the plate for the Javelinas. The Javelinas are on the top of the order now. Javelinas struggled quite a bit in that 3rd inning, picking up 2 errors.
See what Cash Barker can get the thing started here for the Javelinas in the bottom of the 3rd. A very gracious call there from the home plate up, giving that as a strike 1 there. So Cash Barker down in the count early 1-0. Or 0-1, sorry.
Villaforte on the plate now. Swings on that one. Finds himself behind in the count 0-2. Villaforte going to try to change his luck around here. And a good swing there.
But straight to the 2nd baseman there, as Ben Villaforte will go out for his 2nd time today. Hard hit ball though, but just right into the hands of Ryan Small there, so Javelinas not able to catch a break on that one. Now let's see what Cash Barker can do here with already 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. And the team trailing 5-1.
Already a 1/3 of the way into the inning. We'll see if Barker can change the Javelina's fortune around. Chooses not to swing on the first one, a good call by him. He finds himself ahead on the count 1-0. pitch going too high. So Barker now with a count of 2-0. Barker swings on that one. Can't find the ball though. Puts the count at 2-1. Barker swings again.
Yeah, just takes that one on the inside part of the plate there. I think he tried to check his swing, but strike nonetheless, so count even up here at 2-2.
Ball there, thrown by Roscoe. Fills up the count at 3-2. Gonna be deemed a foul ball, so keeps himself alive with that swing. Count's still full here. 1 out into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Good swing there, finding the middle of the field. So Barker is gonna stay on first with that one. Picks up a single.
Yeah, Cash Barker 2 for 2 in the game so far, but did get caught stealing last time he was on base, so maybe he'll be a little bit smarter on the base pads this time. Here comes Taylor Tasca up to the plate here.
Didn't do so well his first time around. We'll see if he can change it up here.
Cash Barker just able to get back in time on that one, as Yasko did a little quick throw back to first.
Tasca did well not to follow through the swing. They're gonna still get called a strike. Puts the count at 0-1.
Yeah, definitely wanted to try to not swing on that one, but right smack dab in the strike zone, so either way it was gonna go down as a strike. Back just a little bit down in the zone there. Goes as ball 1, so count even up here for Tasca, 1-1 with a runner on first. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Javelina's trail 5-1.
Javelina struggling so far in this game. The Rose began right at the top of the 3rd. Gave up 2 errors there.
Yeah, 2 costly errors in the top of the inning allowed for 2 Tarleton State runs there.
That pitch is going to be called a strike.
So Tasca still down in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Seems like a bit of a generous call.
Once again, fans would like to apologize for the interference. It's a pretty windy day here at Nolan Ryan Field.
Tasca at bat now. Count of 1-2. Able to swing on that one, keep himself alive. So count still 1-2 here.
Yasko looking for a ground ball to end the inning here. Possibly just going to try to go for the strikeout and see what he does here with that 1-2 count.
And Barker will steal the second.
With that wild pitch there, Cash Barker will move his way back, or move his way up to second base. So Taylor Tasca now with a runner in scoring position here. Count now at 2-2. So
Barker got tagged out trying to steal last time around. but able to successfully steal to second base this time. So the Javelinas find themselves in scoring position. Taylor Tasca still at bat here for the Hogs. Count is at 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Tasca strikes out.
Yeah, trying to bring in Cash Parker from second there, swung all the way through that one, catching nothing but air. So that will go down as a strikeout for Yasko and the second out for the Javelinas in this game. So with 2 outs here, Chris Ballou is just trying to get this run in from second, trying to cut into this deficit little by little here, and what a big run this would be right here if Ballou can come in for his 18th RBI of the season.
First pitch.
Way inside, almost nicked him there on that one, but just goes down as ball 1.
Blue swings on that one. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Yasko doing a good job so far in this inning, moving his pitches around, catching these batters, Javelina batters off guard here. Evens up the count here 1-1.
And another pitch, almost hitting Ballou.
Yeah, high and way inside on that one, but Chris Ballou will take it. 2 balls, 1 strike here. Javelina's looking for some runs here.
Ballou swings on that one.
And that is going to find some real estate out there as it goes between the right and center fielder there. Chris Ballou will come in the second as Cash Barker scores on an RBI double by Chris Ballou there. So this 5-1 lead now goes down to a 3-run lead as the Javelinas slowly cutting into this lead here, 5-2 now.
So the deficit changing ever so slightly, but the Javelinas will take anything they can get at this point.
And just like that, that will be the end of Yasko's day.
So it looks like Yasko gonna head back to the dugout. Tarleton State playing a little bit conservatively, not wanting to give up too much. They send a new pitcher to the mound. Looks like it is number 27, Garrett Kelly.
Yeah, the right-handed pitcher for Tarleton comes in here to replace Yasko, who gave up his 2nd run of the game.
Garrett Kelly warming up here. As Matt Pettit is going to try to step up to the plate. Maybe advance Chris Ballou, who's currently on second base. Javelina's 2/3 of the way through the inning, though. So only 1 out to work with for them. Game only going 7 innings this game because of the doubleheader.
So the Javelinas, still have a couple innings to work with here, but good job here and bringing in that 1 run here, slowly cutting into that deficit. A big hit there as the wind definitely helped that one carry it into the outfield there, falling just between the center and right fielder there for that big RBI double there for Chris Ballou. So Chris Ballou keeps his nice little hitting streak alive here.
Correction, number 27,
So Garrett Kelly done taking his final warm-up pitches here. As Matt Pettis will come up as he singled his first time around. So another single here from Pettis would bring in another run for the Javelinas. So let's see what Matt Pettis does at his 2nd time at the plate.
Now batting for the Javelinas, number 5, Matt Perez.
Garrett Kelly gonna start off here with a pitch far too high. Gonna be called the ball, puts the count out 1-0.
Yeah, Matt Pettis usually would definitely like to feed off the new pitcher here. You know, still trying to find his groove here. That was being his first pitch, so Matt Pettis hopefully try to take advantage of that.
We'll see if he does. Try to advance Baloo, who's on second. Kelly with another ball there, puts the count at 2-0.
Yeah, Matt Pettis, I mean, if you read the strike, like, if any of these pitchers read scouting report on some of these healthy pitchers, they know that if you want to get Matt Pettis to swing, it's got to be in the strike zone because he will not swing anything outside. Has probably one of the better eyes at the play here for the Javelinas.
That pitch finding the strike zone, puts the count at 2-1. So Pettis showing some patience on the plate. As Blue sits on second, 2/3 of the way through, the bottom of the thirds. That pitch going right outside the strike zone.
So Garrett Kelly having a hard time finding the strike zone in his first batter here. 3-1 count to Matt Pettis here. Javelinas trying to come back in this game, find themselves down 5-2, already a run scored in the bottom of the third. Trying to add more here.
Pitch right outside.
So once again, we see another 3-1 count, and the Javelinas pitcher swinging at it. So Javelina batter's not very patient when the count goes to 3-1 here.
Now Pettis faces a full count. Still 2 outs. Garrett Kelly just has to get 1 to end the inning. First time on the mound so far. And that's going to be a strikeout for him, so Matt Pettis.
Not liking the call on that one, but it will go down nonetheless as a strikeout. First strikeout for Kelly. His first batter faced, only batter he's faced so far. Gets the Javelinas out of the inning, but they do come across for 1 run.
They will chip away at the deficit as they trail 5-2 now. Texans with 6 hits. Javelinas only with 5 and 2 errors for the Hogs. It's a lot of trouble for them as a new pitcher comes on. Number 35 for the Javelinas.
Weston Silverberg comes on for the Javelinas here to replace Zach Pettiford. So Zach Pettiford done with 3 innings. Gave up 5 runs on 6 hits. But only getting charged with 3 of them as 2 of them came across on errors. So now this is Weston Silverberg's game to take over control for the Javelinas on the mound. Let's see what kind of stuff he can deliver here for the Javelinas.
Yeah, Javelinas hoping that Silverberg will help hold back the Texans. Maybe give the Javelinas another chance. Chip away at the deficit. So Silverberg still warming up here.
Back to the top of the lineup for Nico Moran. 2 for 2 on the day so far. Able to score the first run for the Tarleton State Texans on an unorthodox little bunt single that Moran was able to make it all the way around to score on that. On one of the errors by the Javelinas. So
yeah, Pettiford struggling in the 3rd inning. Had to go through the entire order of the Texans. Silverberg starts with a strike. Puts the count at 0-1.
So see if Weston Silverberg could Try to quiet down the bat of Moran here. Like I said, 2 for 2 in the game. Let's see what let's see what Silverberg can do here.
Weston Silverberg, excuse me, picks up the second strike there, puts the count at 0-2.
What a big first out this would be for Silverberg and the Javelinas in this inning. Just 1 strike away. And way inside, almost catching part of Moran's jersey on that one, but it's gonna go down as a ball 1, so count goes to 1-2 for Moran. Weston Silverberg trying to get the first out here of the top of the 4th here. Javelinas trailing 5-2 here.
And
That
Silverberg hitting him there.
Yeah, so the first ball almost catching him. This one does catch him, so Moran on for the 3rd time in the game, 2 hits.
Silverberg not starting the way he would hope.
Mistaken Moran's only 1 for 1 in the game as he was walked his 2nd time. And takes this one on, so Moran's still 1-1 in the game, but been on all 3 times he's been at the plate, so let's see what Ringenberg can do here. And that one did catch Ringenberg too, so 2 back-to-back hit batters here for Weston Silverberg to start off the 4th inning here, so already a tough position for the replacement pitcher Silverberg. 2 runners on, no outs here in the top of the 4th. Javelina is down 5-2.
So Guedry talking to Silverberg there. Now there's a runner on first and second, so Silverberg struggling just a bit to start off this inning.
Vela Moreno just fouls that one off there. Falls behind the count 0-1.
Guedry talking to him again, so him and Silverberg not looking like they're on the same page. Try to go for the double play.
And they get it. Good job there by Ben Villafuerte to get a hold of that one cleanly and throw it down to Matt Pettis the second. Matt Pettis gets it off. Goes down to Tasca for the easy 1-2 double play there. So just like that, Weston Silverberg erases those 2 hit batters there, but still has to deal with the runner on 3rd here with 2 outs, and the Tarleton still clinging on to that 5-2 lead here in the top of the 4th.
Strike there.
Yeah, it looks like Silverberg's trying to calm himself down here a little bit. 1 pitch, 2 outs on his last one, and this one catches just the lower part of the strike zone there for strike 1, so.
Just caught a piece of the ball there.
Colton Booth down in the count here, 0-2.
Silverberg can pick up his first strikeout here. He'll end the top of the 4th with no damage done, but right now they still have a runner on 3rd to worry about. Last pitch there is going to be called a ball. Puts the count at 1-2.
Yeah, home plate up had an appeal with the second ump there, but the ump says no swing, so count still goes to 1-2. Like Ferris said, Silverberg just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning without giving up a run here.
Booth showing good patience. Evens up the count at 2-2. And a foul ball there. It looked like the pitch was going to the inside again.
Yeah, it looks like it might have looked like it would have gone fair, but wind blows it just a little bit foul there, so Havalas catch a big break on that one, which definitely would have brought the run in from third. Just like that, the count still stays at 2-2.
Silverberg hitting another pitcher.
So third, three straight, not three straight, but three hit batsmen in the inning already, and looks like that's going to be it for Silverberg here as Coach Gonzalez going to come out here and have a few words with his relief pitcher here.
Yeah, Silverberg not being able to do too well. Javelina's 2/3 of the inning through, primarily because of the double play we saw earlier. Silverberg struggling so far on the mound, it might be his time to walk off already.
Yeah, so
he's already hit a few pitchers.
Yeah, so Silver gets through 2/3 of an inning.
Gets sent off. Gonna head back to the dugout. Tough performance there for Silverberg.
Three hit batsmen in 2/3 of an inning, getting the double play to help him out here a little bit, but not enough to get him out of the inning here.
So Javelina's gonna have to try a different pitcher on the mound.
Looks like that's gonna be number 3, Miles Holcomb. Like Ferris said, the third pitcher used by the Javelinas today. He'll be brought in to try to get the third and final out here in the top of the fourth here.
Now pitching for Javelinas, number 3, Miles Holcomb.
We're going to take a quick break as Miles Holcomb takes his warm-up practice here. We'll be back just in a few seconds.
Welcome back to the Javelinas taking on Tarleton State Texans here in Kingsville on Nolan Ryan Field.
Now batting for the Texans, number 2.
Game one of a two-game doubleheader today. Javelinas find themselves trailing here in game one, 5-2 in the top of the fourth inning here. 2 outs here. The runner on third here for the Javelinas, and new pitcher Miles Holcomb will be brought in to try to get the third and final out here in the fourth, trying to get the Javelinas without giving up a run here.
Holcomb starts off with a strike, puts the count at 0-1.
And that one just a little bit down in the zone there in the dirt. Evens up the count here at 1-1.
So Javelinas haven't given up a run yet so far in the fourth inning, but they do have a runner on third to worry about.
Yeah, Miles Holcomb will try to keep that score as what it is right now.
Runner on first and a runner on third for the Texans. The pitch going too far to the inside. Gonna put the count at 2-1.
So like some of these relief pitchers having a hard time finding the strike zone here. Miles Holcomb finds himself down in the count here 2-1.
Holcomb looked like he kept his eyes fixed on first base just a little bit too long before the throw. Might have thrown off the pitch a little. Looks like it's going to be a foul ball. Tasca can't make it there in time.
And Ryan Small, who has struck out 2 of his first times up today, still even on the count here, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Miles Holcomb, we're looking to send him down for his 3rd strikeout of the game. Let's see what he does here. And they throw a little off key there from Guidry to Matt Pettis, so Tarleton State, Colton Booth able to get down to second with a stolen base there. So now he has runners on 2, second and third here. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Javelina's just looking for any out to get themselves out of this inning. Trying to give up any more runs. They gave up 5 in the 3rd inning and now trail 5-2. Good ground hit there. But taken care of well by the Javelinas there. Good job by them to close out the inning, making sure not to pick up their 3rd error of the game.
Yeah, so Small's having a good game for Tarleton State. 0 for 3. And Miles Holcomb, glad he didn't get a hit on that one. Right up the middle for an easy ground ball out there. So Miles Holcomb, job completed there on that one, comes in and gets the final out of the 4th. Javelina still trails 5-2 here, going into the bottom of the 4th. Like we said, this is only a 7-inning game, so Javelina's only have 4 more outs, 4 more innings to work with here. So let's see what they can do here. Only need 3 runs, 4 runs to take the lead here. Returning to the mound here for the Tarleton State Texans is number 27, Garrett Kelly. We have a new announcer with us right now, Brenda. How you doing today, Brenda?
I'm doing okay.
So you've been in the press box earlier. What have you seen, noticed in the game so far?
I can't believe the pitcher hit a player that had two strikes.
Yeah, 3-hit batsman, Miles Holcomb, able to get around that though, but, you think the Javelinas have a good chance of coming back in the game?
I hope so.
Looks like they will try to get things started here in the bottom of the 4th as Ryan Guidry comes up to lead out the 4th, and he takes the strike 1 there. Falls behind the count there, 0-1. So, besides the hits, Batman, what else have you noticed in the game so far? Ryan Guidry takes that one there, so he falls behind the counter. No balls, 2 strikes.
So the count at 0-2 now, Garrett Kelly. So far, count at 1-2 now with Garrett Kelly's last pitch. Guidry's still on the plate.
Yeah, showing some patience, good patience on that last ball there.
One. Guidry hits the fence on the last foul ball. Keeps count steady at 1-2. Guidry swings on that one, gets to the shortstop, finds himself with an out.
Yeah, shortstop almost ate that one there, but able to recover pretty quickly and get an easy ground ball out there. So Javelina starts at the bottom of the 4th with an easy ground ball out there. Now James Black will come up and try to get something going here for the Javelinas in this thing.
So Javelina's already 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. The way they had hoped to start. Black swings on that one. Can't make contact with the ball. Puts the count at 0-1.
Yes, he knows that Kelly comes in for his 2nd inning of work here. A little bit more velocity on his pitches here, so.
Kelly doing a good job to protect the Texans' lead as he picks up a strike on that pitch. It's counted 0-2. He's got a good fastball.
Yeah, Black down the counter 0-2. See what he does here with the 0-2 count.
Black swings on it.
So Kelly gets his second strikeout of the game.
3 pitches. And just like that, Black gets sent back in. So Javelina's 2 outs.
2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Now it'll be up to Julian Duran here to try to get something going here for the Javelinas.
Duran's got a tough task ahead of him. Garrett Kelly so far.
3 up, 3 down for Kelly, going back to the last batter in the bottom of the 3rd.
Starts off that with a strike.
For the Javelinas, number 22, Julian Duran.
And that one catches the inner part of the plate too, so things not looking good here for Duran. Down 0-2 in the count, already 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Duran's struggling so far. Well, it looks like all the Javelinas on struggling at bat here. That pitch just a little bit too high. So Duran catches a break there. The count's at 1-2.
Duran, Javelinas trying to get anything going here in the bottom of the 4th.
And Duran with a good hit right down.
Looks like that's to go down for
center of
extra
the
bases
field.
there as Duran is going to go to first. He's trying to go for 3, and it looks like he is going to get in there safely with a 2-out triple there. So good job there by Duran with a good 2-out hitting there.
Duran gets a triple on that one.
Now let's see if Wagner can come through with his first hit of the game, try to bring in another run here for the Javelinas. So good job there by Duran.
Wagner struggling this far this season, though, like we said, with a batting average of 154. But nonetheless, Wagner is going to try to advance. Julian Duran. Duran made something out of nothing with that opportunity there, Colton, with the triple.
Yeah, good 2-out, 2-strike hitting there from Duran. Let's see if Trent Wagner can make Duran's triple worth it, try to bring him in from 3rd, try to cut more into this deficit here.
Duran's going to need a solid hit here. Get on base. The Javelinas are 2 outs in. Swings on that one, misses.
Yeah, Trent Wagner getting a little bit too anxious here at the plate. You know, wants to try to get a good solid hit here, but doesn't want to swing at bad pitches there. So let's see what he does here. See if he can show a little bit more patience here at the plate.
Pitch going outside of the plate. Going to even up the count at 2-1.
Yeah, good either by Wagner, taking that one for ball 1. Count even here at 1-1 here. Runner on 3rd, 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Javelinas still trail the Tarleton State Texans 5-2 in the first 7-game inning of this doubleheader.
Wagner swings on that one. Looked like it was about to be right over the plate as well. Puts the count at 1-2. That pitch going too high, too far inside. So it evens up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, so Wagner definitely doing a good job here, working the count back even, 2-2 here. Trying to get that solid hit to bring that runner in from 3rd. And Wagner
swing on that one, but gets struck out there. So Garrett Kelly picks up his 3rd strikeout.
So Wagner goes down for the 2nd time today on strikeouts as his woes continue there at the plate there. So Javelinas unable to bring that runner in from 3rd. Still trail 5-2 going into the top of the 5th inning here. So
Javelinas going to hope that Miles Holcomb can fare better than the past few pitchers, the past 2 pitchers that have played so far. Welcome back to the game here. Top of the 5th inning for the Javelinas.
Miles Holcomb delivers a strike one there to Rustin Thomas.
Good pitch there. Gonna be a second strike, so.
Miles Holcomb doing a good job here getting ahead of Thomas here to lead off the 5th.
Thomas with a count of 0-2 now. Pitch is gonna be called the ball. Puts the count at 1-2. Looks like the Texans head coach is gonna go ahead and have a talk with the umpire and his batter.
Thomas still behind the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes here in the top of the 5th. Tarleton still clinging to that 5-2 lead here. Havalas unable to cash in on that triple by Duran in the bottom of the 4th.
And a ground ball there to the shortstop, Matt Pettis.
But the throw will get Tasca off the bag there, so Thomas gonna count that as an infield single there.
So
Gets on base to lead off the top of the 5th.
Javelina's showing some problems so far fielding, giving up a lot of stolen bases, giving up a lot of unnecessary runs, as well as they had 2 errors so far in the game.
Yeah, 2 of those errors coming in the 3rd inning there as Tarleton, part of that 5-run inning for the Texans where all the runs have come in, so you know, the errors definitely killing the Javelinas today.
Thomas finds himself on base for the Texans on first, and now full of Lajide at home plate. So Holcomb starts off with a strike, puts the count at 0-1.
And Miles Holcomb, like again, once again, will be high looking for that, trying to induce that ground ball, try to get the double play here.
Jide gets contact with the ball.
Yeah, making good contact, but down in the count here, 0-2. So let's see a Miles Holcomb kind of pitch he delivers here on this one.
It's kind of 0-2 now. Holcomb going to try to get a strikeout. Pitch goes too high. Lajide does not swing on it. So puts the count at 1-2. Wedry cannot even find the ball.
So Thomas strolls on down to second with another stolen base here for the Texans. Guidry not having a good day behind the plate. A couple off-key throws led to some couple runs here for the Texans.
Wedry struggling so far, as the rest of the Javelinas are as well. And a tough, hard hit there, but fielded by James Black.
Yeah, good job there. Snagging that one right out of the air. That was a missile line for left field, but James Black almost able to double off Thomas at second, but Thomas able to get back in time. So and they go down as the first out here in the 5th inning. So Miles Holcomb, Black bails him out on that one there. 1 out here in the bottom of the, or top of the 5th here. Tarleton still runner in scoring position in here.
Rustin Thomas on second base still for the Texans. Maybe.
Let's see what Jared Musgrove can do here for the Texans.
Going to count as a strike. Puts the count at 0-1. Miles Holcomb certainly is faring better so far than Silverberg. And a swing there. Going to be a foul ball.
Just out of reach for any of the Javelina players to even make an attempt on that. But it will still go down as strike 2, so Still ahead in the count here on Musgrove. 0-2 here to see if Miles Holcomb can get a second out here of the 5th inning.
Pitch going to count as a ball, puts the count at 1-2.
Musgrove last time up got that solid base hit. See what he does this time around, facing that 1-2 count.
Looks like it's going to loop right in there. And the Texans going to try to send them home. They do so successfully.
Yeah, good online throw there by Trent Radner from center field, but the throw just a little bit late as the Javelinas are able to bring in another run as Rustin Thomas, comes in to score from second. So this lead now back up to 4. Tarleton State now leading 6-2 here. Still one out here in the top of the 5th inning here, with Miles Holcomb still struggling here. Musgrove on first with that RBI single.
Looks like another hit, but James Black fielding it well. Gonna take care of Evan Robinson there, gets him out. So the Javelinas 2 outs, 1 more to go.
Yeah, looks like Miles Holcomb was ready. Thought that was strikeout number 3. He tried a little prance to the home plate and realized he only got 2 outs here. So still needs to get 1 more out here to get out of the inning.
Musgrove on second base. So the Javelinas going to keep an eye on him as the Texans restart the order with Nico Moran. Good pitch there. Going to be called a strike. Puts the count at 0-1. Swings on that one. Foul ball, heads to the bleachers. So Moran finds himself behind in the count at 0-2.
So Miles Holcomb 1 strikeout away from getting out of the inning, but not before the Tarleton State added that 1 run on the Musgrove RBI single there. Like I said, Javelinas is still down 4 runs here, 6-2.
And Moran swings on that one, so he gets struck out. Holcomb picks up his first strikeout of the game. Javelinas get out of the top of the 5th, having to give up 1 run, so they trail 6-2 here. Tarleton State with 8 hits so far. Javelinas only with 6 hits and 2 errors. So we'll join you back here at the bottom of the 5th inning.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
So bottom of the 5th inning, coming your way here. Ben Villaforte gonna
lead things off here for the Javelinas. Javelinas need to get to work here. Only have 3 more innings to get 4 runs here as they trail the Tarleton State Texans 6-2 in the game 1 of this 2-game doubleheader.
Gary Kelly starts things off with a strike, puts the count at 0-1. Another fastball there. Same result. Villafuerte finds himself behind in the count, 0-2 now. Villafuerte makes contact on it, keeping himself alive. Keeps the count at 0-2.
Havalas looking for any kind of base runners here to try to get something going here. Good eye there by Villafuerte to take that as ball one. Still down in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 5th.
Kelly hoping he could get Villafuerte to chase. And another ball there. Let's count at 2-2. So Villafuerte trying to show some patience on the plate. Another ball there.
Good.
So full count.
Yeah, good eye there by, or good patience shown here at the plate by Villafuerte. Working the count back to full. Like we said, Havalas trying to get any kind of base runner here, either by walk or by hit.
Fuerte swings on that one. Heads outside the field, called a foul ball, so the count's still full here. No outs for the Javelinas, no one on base just yet in the bottom of the 5th. So the Javelinas hoping they can get on base with Villafuerte. Lead things off. Villafuerte hits a ground ball.
And that's going to go down as a nice infield single there as it just popped over the glove of the second baseman there. So Havalas start off the bottom of the 5th with a nice infield single there by Villafuerte.
Yeah, Ryan Small couldn't get there right in time. Struggled a little bit. Cash Barker steps up.
Yeah, 2 hits in the game for Cash Barker so far. See if he can get his 3rd hit of the game here.
Kelly trying to catch Villafuerte off base.
Yeah, Villafuerte only 8 stolen base attempts on the season. He's made 6 of those 8 attempts, so picks his right times when he wants to go.
And Villafuerte decided to stay on first base there. Looked like a good call as Jared Musgrove. Looked like he had control of that ball pretty soon. So the count's at 1-0 right now. Cash Barker still on the plate for the Hogs. Another throw there to first base. That pitch going to the inside, and it's going to be a foul ball. Musgrove can't get to it, so the Javelina's lucky there.
Yeah, just not able to catch up to that in time. Still going to go down as a strike, so count even up here at 1-1 for Barker. Villafuerte still sits on first with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Hovland is trying to get some kind of momentum built here as they have 3 innings to get 4 runs here, trailing the Tarleton State Texans 6-2 here at Nolan Ryan Field.
So count at an even 1-1 right now. We'll see what Kelly pitches here. Kelly decides to throw back to first yet again.
Villafuerte just able to get back in time on that one.
pitch finding the strike zone. Barker finds himself behind the count 1 and 2.
Yeah, Cash Barker just watched that one go by taking that pitch. But nonetheless, it's a strike, so he falls behind the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See how Barker reacts being behind in the count. Barker makes contact, another foul ball though, so the count's going to stay at 1 and 2. So far, count at 1 and 2 still. Kelly spending the majority of this time throwing to first base. Not comfortable with Villafuerte there.
Yeah, Cash Barker still waiting at the plate. 1-2 count here to Barker still. Say Cash ready 2 for 2 in the game, 2 hits. It'd be nice to get his 3rd hit of the game here.
Doesn't swing on that one. Probably hopes he did. Gets struck out there. Javelinas pick up their first out.
Yeah, it's Garrett Kelly's 3rd strikeout since coming in for relief pitcher Yasko. For starting pitcher Yasko on that one. So far, a pretty good solid outing by Garrett Kelly. Tasco try to come up in this inning and try to advance Villafuerte into scoring position here.
Call that a strike. Puts the count at 0-1.
So Garrett Kelly not having any trouble at all finding the strike zone here in these past couple of batters.
Tasca swings on that one. Can't make contact with the ball. Finds himself behind in the count 0-2. So the Javelinas struggling at bat quite a bit here tonight in the first game of this doubleheader.
Garrett Kelly's paying special attention to Villafuerte at first. They're throwing back to first base about 6 or 7 times these past 2 batters. Make that 8 times. So Garrett Kelly definitely trying to make sure Villafuerte does not have any type of chance to try to steal a base. Count still 0-2 to Tasca here. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And Tasca swings through that one. Back-to-back strikeouts there for Kelly. 4th strikeout of the game for Kelly, and that's the 2nd out of the 5th inning here.
So Garrett Kelly, too much for the Javelinas to handle here so far. Javelinas 2/3 of the way through the inning, only 1 more out to work with. Chris Ballou stepping up to the plate for the Hogs. See if he can change the luck of the Javelinas around. First pitch going outside the plate, going to be called a ball, puts the count at 1-0.
Yeah, Chris Ballou here did a good job. His last time I got that RBI double just to right center field on the his last at bat. It would be nice to see that again here, but let's see what he does. Already down and up in the count, 1-0.
That pitch going to be called a strike by the umpire. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Once again, Kelly throws back to first. I think Villafuerte's got the message by now that he's not going to try to steal on him.
Yeah, Villafuerte sitting close to first base. A big hit there by Baloo, but going to be a foul ball, so puts the count at 1-2. Baloo hits it there, going to be a ground ball, and it just looks like the ending just finished here.
Yeah.
So only 2 more innings for the Javelinas to try and get the lead as they trail 5-2 on 7 hits and 2 errors.
Yeah, Javelinas have to get 4 runs and only 2 innings of work here. So let's see what happens as the rest of the game plays out here. We'll be back in just a few seconds here with the top of the 6th inning.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
And welcome back here. We're going to start top of the 6th inning here. Miles Holcomb still returns to the mound for the Javelinas here to face Nolan Ringenberger.
Yeah, Javelinas trailing 6-2 so far. Ringenberger looked like he was going to try to go for a bunt.
Yeah, trying to lay down a bunt single.
So the count is at 0-1 for Ringenberger now.
Takes that one just inside for ball 1 there. Just count even up here 1-1.
Seems like a close call, but the ref decides it's a ball. Evens up the count at 1-1.
That one just high there for ball 2.
So good patience shown by Ringenberger, but the count at 2-1. That pitch too low. So Ringenberger ahead in the count 3-1. Ringenberger heads to first on that walk.
Miles Holcomb walks the batter on that one. Start off at the top of the 6th. Moreno will come up now. With the runner on first here in the Tarleton State Texans nursing that 6-2 lead right now. Trying to see if they can add on more here.
It looks like a couple other pitchers warming up in the bullpen. As Ringenberger is going to steal the second. Guedry struggling, as you said, Colton being the catcher on the day.
Miles Holcomb down in the count here to Moreno, 2-0. And that one goes down in the dirt for ball 3 there. So Miles Holcomb having a hard time now trying to find the strike zone here. 3-0 down to Moreno here with the runner on second. Still nobody out here in the top of the 6.
And then walk. Apologize for the wind there. Ended up walking Ringenberger. And it looks like he's going to walk another runner there.
So a walk on 4 pitches there for Moreno. And that looks like that might be just about it for Miles Holcomb as the bullpen's still warming up here.
Number 34, Colton.
Coach Gonzalez going to come out here. And I think that will be it for Miles Holcomb.
So Javelina's really struggling on the mound today.
Yeah, after having a stellar day on the mound yesterday with their 2 starting pitchers, Tasca and Ponder, you know, combining, you know, only allowing run yesterday, giving up 6 runs here in the first game of this doubleheader. So Javelina pitching struggling today. Looks like that will be it for Miles Holcomb. Javelinas have a new pitcher on the mound here. Number 32, Ryan Benitez, comes in for the Javelinas here, trying to get out of the 6th inning here unscathed. The Javelinas ready to find themselves down 6-2 here.
So Benita's going to try to get the Javelinas out of the inning. As previous pitcher, Miles Holcomb ended up walking 2 batters in a row. So Javelinas have a runner on first and second to deal with.
Ryan Benitez just about done with his warm-up pitches here. As number 34, Colton Booth, will come up and try to see what he can do here with runners in second and third, or first and second here for the Texans. Still nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning.
So Javelina struggling so far here today.
For the Texans, number 34, Colton Booth.
So Benitez on the mound now. Javelinas finally lock it down, getting it to James Black in time. Javelinas have been struggling, giving up a lot of stolen bases today, but finally get one for themselves here.
Yeah, Ryan Guidry finally puts the throw on target there to James Black. James Black ever lay down the tag of number 6 there, Nolan Ringenberger at third base. So just like that, Ryan Benitez gets one out in the inning there. Tarleton State gets caught stealing there. Still have a runner on second here, one out here in the top of the 6th. Tarleton State still up 6-2.
Swing and a miss there.
Ryan Benitez up in this count 0-2 to Booth.
Benitez going to try to get the Javelinas out of this inning unscathed if possible. The Texans do have a runner in scoring position. Alvaro Moreno on second.
Yeah, Ryan Benitez taking this one batter at a time though.
A curveball there, going outside.
Yeah.
That's a count out 1-2.
Yeah, a little bit too much curve on that one there. Just curved a little bit outside low in that one too, so count goes to 1-2 here for Booth.
Wedry struggling on getting the ball, but it looks like Moreno's going to stay on second.
Count goes to 2-2 on that ball.
Is going to take some time, as does Colton Booth. Count still at 2-2 here. 1 out for the Javelinas in the top of the 6th. One more inning to play here, and a doubleheader is coming after this one. And it looks like it's going to be a fly ball. And James Black gets to it in time. So Javelinas pick up their second out, an infield fly.
So Ryan Benitez doing a good job getting 2 quick outs here.
For the Texans, number 8, Ryan Small.
Ryan Small comes up now 0 for 3 in the game.
Yeah, Ryan Small's been struggling, so Benitez might have his work cut out for him here. We'll see if he can capitalize.
Yeah, Ryan Small, the only Texan to not have a hit in the games thus far. So all Javelina pitchers have been able to keep him in check. Let's see if Ryan Benitez can continue that trend here, try to get the 3rd out here of the 6th inning.
So that's called a strike. Puts the count at 0-1. And he's keeping an eye on second base. Tough curveball there to the inside. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Ryan Benitez, like I said, doing a good job taking this one batter at a time here. Got his first out. As Heisenberg almost got caught stealing at 3rd, and a pop-up from Booth. Now, Ryan Benitez just 1 out away here from getting out of the inning.
That pitch going a little low.
But good recovery there by Guidry behind the plate.
Marina thought about stealing to 3rd, but realized it was a little too risky, stayed behind. Guidry giving a few words to Benitez as he heads back to home plate now.
Ryan Benitez still down in the count, 2-1.
Swing on that one, going to be called a foul ball, so the count's still even here at 2-2. 2 outs for the Javelinas here and a runner on second. They might be able to get out of the top of the 6th unscathed if Benitez can close out here. Benitez subbing in for Miles Haltom. Pitching for the Javelinas. Not going so well tonight. That pitch going to the outside. Benitez struggling a little bit now. Fills up the count here at 3-2. Runner still on second for the Texans.
Ryan Benitez even still down the count here. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes here. Too small.
A swing and a miss there. A little bit of contact made though.
Yeah, Small just able to catch a piece of that one and keep his at-bat alive here.
Yeah, Small's going to try to go for his first hit of the game. Benitez going to try to close it out instead. We'll see what happens here. Full count. Runner on second. Small swings on that one, bounces right past Benitez. Tough throw there. Tasca catches it though.
Gets that one. So Ryan Benitez comes in and does the job here. Gets out of the 6th inning here without allowing a run. Javelina is still down 6-2. Only going in, only have 6 outs to work with here as they still trail the Tarleton State Texans 6-2. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th inning.
On your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. 5 seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
So Matt Pettis finding his way to home plate again. Bottom of the 6th inning here for the Javelinas. Texans sticking with Garrett Kelly, who's been pretty phenomenal for the Texans thus far, as has the previous pitcher for them, Troy Orozco. First pitch going right over the home plate. Puts the count at 0-1.
Yeah, Matt Pettis is trying to get something going here for the Javelinas. Like we said, only 6 outs to work with here. Javelinas down 6-2 in this game 1 other doubleheader, so Matt Pettis will definitely be trying to get on base here to try to start some kind of momentum back on the Javelina side here. So let's see what he does here. Already down in the count 0-1.
Yeah, Garrett Kelly so far finding the strike zone for his team. Javelina's not swinging on too much here. Pettis finds himself behind on the count 0-2. Pettis hasn't swung at this at-bat yet. Doesn't swing there is a good eye by him. Puts the count at 1-2.
Like we've been saying all game though, Matt Pettis definitely has an eye for the ball at the plate here. So
and Pettis with a tough swing there. Looks like went straight to the right fielder.
yeah, routine small little fly ball there for Matt Pettis to the right fielder there. So quick out here for the Javelinas in the bottom of the 6th.
And not the way they hoped to start. Coming up for the Javelinas is Ryan Gledry now.
Yeah, like we said earlier, Ryan Gledry having some hard times behind the plate as catcher, but he does have a hit today in the game. Let's see if he can follow it up with another hit today or right now at this at bat. Try to make up for some of his woes from behind the plate.
Javelina's certainly hoping so. Looks like it's going to be just a fly ball here. And the shortstop going to get to it. Good play there by
So one pitch,
Evan
one out
Robinson.
there for Ryan Gledry. So Javelina's not doing what they need to do here. Already 2 quicks out here in the bottom of the 6th. Be up to James Black now to keep this inning alive here.
James Black stepping up to the plate for the Javelinas. Going to try change their fortune if possible. First pitch going just a little bit too high. Going to be called a ball. Puts the count at 1-0. Another fastball there. Right outside of the strike zone. Black finds himself ahead 2-0 in the count. Black swings on that one. Still ahead in the count, 2-1. Black swings again, can't find the ball. So evens up the count at 2-2. Kelly maybe just one pitch away from ending the 6th inning. And Kelly, good showing for his team here. Javelina struggling on the plate. Tell they're very frustrated here.
Yeah, James Black showing his frustration after that at bat. Not able to get anything going for the Javelinas in that inning. Javelinas will go into the top of the 7th inning now. Still down by 4, 6-2 here in game 1 of the doubleheader. So we'll be back in just a little bit with the start of the 7th inning.
So the 7th inning about to get underway here. Ryan Benitez taking the mound again for the Javelinas.
Yeah, Matt Benitez will be coming in to finish this game for the Javelinas. Like we said earlier, Javelinas still find themselves down 6-2 here in game 1 of the doubleheader. Javelinas did have a 2-0 lead going into the 3rd, but
and it looks like they're going to put the exclamation point on their lead as Rustin Thomas hits a 1-run homer. It's going to be weighted here by his team.
I don't want to say that's a dagger, but like you said, it's probably the exclamation point on the game for the Texans.
So Rustin Thomas coming in, hitting a home run.
Increases the lead here to 5 for the Texans. 7-2 now is the lead for the Tarleton State Texans over the Javelinas here in the top of the 7th, thanks to a Thomas solo home run to left field.
We'll see how Benitez can respond from that. Starts with a curveball outside the plate, puts the count at 1-0. Up at the plate right now is designated hitter, Fulla Lajide. And a tough line drive there right past James Black's hands. Lajide's gonna go ahead and stay at first.
So 2 back-to-back hits given up here by Benitez to start the 7th. A home run by Thomas and a single to Lajide. So Benitez looks like he lost a little bit of his muster that he had in the 6th inning. Came in and got 3 outs without allowing a run, but looks like he's gonna give up more than a run today. As the Javelinas do have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen though, just in case Benitez cannot get any outs in this inning.
Looks like Gonzalez might be ready to throw him out now.
All right, looks like that will be it for Benitez. Coming up next for the Texans will be Jared Musgrove, who had a hit his last time up.
After that 1-run home run by Rustin Thomas, the Texans now have a 7-2 lead off 10 hits. Javelinas only with 7 hits on the night so far and 2 errors.
Yeah, 2 errors coming in that 3rd inning. Part of that 5-run 3rd inning for the Texans. 2 runs scoring on those 2 Javelina errors. So errors definitely killing the Javelinas in that inning, and pitching struggling today in this game.
Musgrove coming out as Jason Gonzalez going to go ahead and trust Benitez on the mound still.
Benitez can't find the strike zone on that one. Down in the count 1-0 here to Musgrove.
It's going to be called a strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Another tough line drive there, but it looks like the Javelinas might get a double play here and do so successfully.
So Ryan Benitez responds well after giving up 2 hits to start the inning, gets the ground ball from Musgrove there to ground into the double play. So
yeah, good play there by Ben Villaforte as well. Managing to field the ball in time. Threw it to Pettis and then Pettis to Tasca to get the double play there. So the Javelinas only need 1 more out to get themselves out of the inning, but got quite a lot of work ahead of them if they want to try to win this game. They're down by 5. Only 1 more inning to go. Benitez starts off with a fastball over the plate. Going to be called a strike. Count is at 0-1. Pitch hitting the dirt. Going to even up the count at 1-1. Foul ball here. James Black trying to get to it. Guedry does as well, but they can't find the ball.
yeah, good effort there by Guidry as he tried to slide to get that, but ran out a little bit of real estate there, and the ball dropped right in front of him. So, nonetheless, it will go down as a 1-2 count, still 2 for Evan Robinson.
And Benitez gets a strikeout there, ends the bottom of the 7th inning. Or ends the top of the 7th inning, excuse me. So just one more inning here. The Javelina is going to try to retake the lead, but they got to score 5 runs to do so. We'll see if they can. Just a second.
So, got a new pitcher here for the Texans. Looking like they're going to bring in their closer, Britt Robertshaw. Comes in to try to close out the game here for the Texans, who are up 7-2 in this first game of the doubleheader. Was 6-2, but after a Thomason solo home run in the top of the 7th, now 7-2. So Havalas looks like they might need to scratch this game and just come out more prepared in the second game of the doubleheader. Still have a chance to win the series if they can pick up that second win.
So we'll see what the Javelinas can do for themselves. So it looks like excuse me. It looks like Julian Duran will be the first one. Take swings against the new pitcher and the closer, Britt Robertshaw. Oh, and that pitch actually going outside of Duran.
Just over his head. Duran might take that a little bit personally.
Starts to count off at 1-0. Robertshaw clearly not exactly warmed up yet. It's a better pitch there, right over home plate. Evens up the count at 1-1. Good fastball there by Robertshaw.
That one also.
Good eye by Duran,
Yeah,
just a little too high.
Yeah, makes the count 2-1 here for Duran in the bottom of the 7th inning. Javelinas need to have a big inning here if they want to have any chance to come back. Down by 5, 7-2 here. And that one also inside, almost hitting Duran again on that one. So Robertshaw might not be fully warmed yet on his pitches as he's down in the count here, 3-1 to Duran.
There's another 3-1 situation. We'll see what happens here. Colton, as you noted, a lot of times Javelinas tend to swing. Duran.
Yeah, Duran finally shows patience at the plate here for the Javelinas with a 3-1 count and takes his walk down to first.
So Robertshaw struggling thus far. Jared Musgrove, the catcher, going to give him a few words.
It looks like we got a pinch hitter here. Coming in for Trent Wagner. Travis Laird comes in for the Javelinas. So he'll probably take the spot out at taking the spot for Trent Wallace. Trent Wallace having to woes continue at the plate today. You know, a couple strikeouts, 0 for 3. So let's see if other Travis can fare better.
Yeah, Trent Wagner not having a good night at the plate. We'll see if Laird had something better in mind. Robert Shaw starts with a ball outside the plate. Puts the count at 1-0. Javelinas have a runner on first and no outs yet. Bottom of the 7th, so if the Javelinas have to do anything, they certainly have to do it now as they trail 7-2. That pitch, finding the strike zone, gonna even up the count out 1-1. Laird swings on that one, so finds himself down in the count 1-2. Laird swings on that one as well, keeps himself alive. Count still at 1-2. Laird going to be looking to advance Julian Duran, who's on first right now. Swings on that one, and that'll send them back to the dugout. So Travis Laird not faring much better than Wagner would have.
Yeah, so Robert Shaw gets his first strikeout of the game. One out here in the bottom of the 7th here. Javelina's still down 7-2 here in game 1 of the doubleheader. Julian Duran still sits on first base thanks to that opening inning walk. Now let's see what.
So Justin Lee gonna pinch hit as well for the Javelinas. Looks like Coach Gonzalez trying to get some new blood in there, hoping they fare better.
You haven't seen too much from Lee this season, but I think Coach Gonzalez, kind of realized the game might be a little bit out of reach here, so trying to get some of these players at bats here.
Robert Shaw starts off with a ball, puts the count at 1-0. Good eye by Lee there. Finds himself ahead of the count, 2-0.
Duran taking a nice little sizable lead off first, has a stolen base in the game already.
Pitt's not finding the strike zone. So Lee finds himself ahead in the count, 3-0. Julian Duran still on first base. Javelinas with 1 out so far. Only 2 more to work with as they trail by 5. That's going to be called a strike. It's count of 3-1. So Justin Lee so far has not swung yet.
Still heading the count 3-1.
Swings on that one. Foul ball there, so now the count fills up at 3-2.
So Justin Lee doing a good job here off the bench to work the count here. Full 3-2 here. Let's see what he does. There's still just 1 out here in the inning.
So Robert Shaw still on the plate now, on the mound. Lee keeps himself alive, able to make contact. So we'll see what Lee can do so far. And Lee with the patience.
Yeah,
Upshaw walks, Brett Shaw walks another batter there.
Now, number 12, Cash Parker.
And looks like that'll be it for Robert Shaw, as I think this Tarleton State coach got enough, seen enough already from Robert Shaw.
Yeah, walking 2 batters. It's only when the Javelinas are on base so far, as they haven't gotten a hit this inning yet.
Yeah, 2 walks to start the 7th inning.
So Javelina is able to get on base. They are a third of the way into the inning, but still 2 more outs to work with. Got a runner on first and second now, thanks to Robert Shaw walking both of them. So it looks like the Texans might be their own worst enemy here.
You know, Javelinas have some work if they want to have any chance coming back in here, but off to a pretty good start here. I mean, you have to get a run across, but with 2 runners on, without the benefit of a hit here, it's pretty good so far. So Cash Barker, who does have 2 hits in the game, will try to come in with a big hit here, try to maybe bring in a couple runs here maybe.
Looks like Tarleton State pretty comfortable with Robert Shaw still on the mound. We'll see if Cash Barker can try to get him to question his confidence a little further. And a pitch way too far to the inside. Starts count off at 1-0.
Tarleton State does have 2 pitchers warming up in the bullpen here, so game a little bit not quite over yet. Like we said, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Javelina is down 7-2, but do have runners on second and first here with Cash Barker at the plate.
Cash Barker did well not to go through with a swing.
Robert Shaw unable to find a strike zone on that one too. Falls behind to Barker. 2-0 here is the count. Robert Shaw, like I said earlier, already has 2 walks in the inning, only 1 out to his credit.
Gotta wonder if it's done for him if he ends up walking Barker as well. Fastball there. Finds the strike zone. Puts the count at 2-1.
Yeah, just catches the inside part of the strike zone there for strike 1. Still ahead and still behind in the count here. Sorry, 2-1 to Barker.
Barker trying to show some patience. Did strike out last time against Garrett Kelly. That's a 2nd strike there. Barker thought about it for a second, but ended up hesitating. Count even at 2-2 now.
So Robert Shaw could be a ground ball away from getting out of the inning here. Let's see what Cash Barker does here with the 2-2 count. Runners on first and second here. Only 1 out. Bottom of the 7th.
Barker intent on making contact with the ball. Keep the count at 2-2. So Robert Shaw still pitch going too low. Good eye by Barker.
Yeah, Barker reaches, makes the count full here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see what he can do here with the full count on him. Try to see if he can chase Robert Shaw from the game here.
Making contact. And they're gonna call it safe.
So Cash Barker, hustles down the first base line, turns that into a fielder's choice, unable to just get it out of the double play there. So now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, Javelinas have runners on first and third on the corners here for Taylor Tasca. So Tarleton State still up by 5, but Javelina is making them work for it now.
So Javelina is just 1 out away from ending this game with a loss. A runner on first and third.
Robert Sharp's still in the game for the Texans.
Taylor Tasca on the play right now for the Javelinas. First pitch is just going outside the plate, gonna be called a ball. 1-0 is the count. That pitch finding the strike zone, evens up the count out 1-1.
Yeah, most of Robert Shaw's strikes in this inning have been on the inside part of the plate there. Taylor Tasca evens up the count here, 1-1 here. Like we said, 2 outs here, runners on the corners. Javelina is still down 7-2. And check swing there for Taylor Tasca. Takes that as a ball, so that's ball 2 for Tasca. 2-1 count.
Javelinas really have struggled to find any sort of rhythm throughout this game. Tasca swings on that one, puts himself behind, or evens up the count at 2-2.
So Robert Shaw just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning and capturing a 7-2 victory for the Texans here. Let's see what happens here with the count even at 2-2 for Tasca.
Let's see how Tasca can respond to the pressure. Swings and misses again, and so Tasca strikes out. And though Tarleton State lost both in the doubleheader yesterday, looks like they won the first one here. The Javelinas will try to still take the series in this next game. But if the Texans have their way, they're going to try to even it up. We'll see what happens.
And that's will be it for us from Nolan Ryan Field. I'm Colton Williams.
And I'm Ferris Sabawi. Thank you guys for watching. And once again, have a safe and happy Easter.